Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of... Here we go. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of... Here we go. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind of Dan and Dave. Into the mind...
All right. Welcome to the Dan and Dave Mindset. My name's Dan.
I'm Dave. How you doing?
Good. We're joined today by our very special guest, Brian Wozny.
How's it going?
So, who brought this story up?
You did, I think.
No, you did.
Brian did?
I did, yeah. I saw it on Yahoo today.
Brian saw this thing the other day, so we're going to talk about it. We found an article about it to discuss it a bit. Singer Jacqueline Simpson sues McDonald's, claims chicken sandwich incident ruined her voice.
I personally didn't think she had that good of a voice going into this.
I personally have not heard her before or after.
Nor have I.
So
Apparently Brian has an inside
some
track.
of the views expressed in this are those of the person speaking them, if not of the Dan and Dave Mindset.
It's a joke, yes?
Hey! Alright, so apparently Dave just told me this the other day, saying his joke apparently originated with me, went to Dave, and now is a part of you.
Yes.
I find this very fascinating.
I thought it was a Philippines thing. I didn't realize
It's
it was
joke.
Turns out it's just
Sorta.
some kid from Eating Rapids.
Small world.
You know?
Small world.
And Brian, where are you originally from? Ohio?
Yeah. Northeast Ohio, so I mean,
Northeast Ohio?
yeah.
You don't want to say the name of the town? Is it shameful?
Yeah. It's Rock Creek, Ohio.
Rock Creek. Oh my. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's shameful.
All right. Well, so just so everybody understands, you know, we have Michigan, Massachusetts, and Ohio opinions happening here. So
That's right.
With a splash of the Philippines.
right.
That's right. Mhm.
Just a splash, just toe in the water. So a gospel singer has sued McDonald's, claiming her voice was ruined after she bit into a piece of glass while eating a chicken sandwich from the fast food chain, according to the New York Post. Yeah.
That's pretty reliable.
Yeah, this article is...
Not her, the
The New York Post, yeah.
The New York Post.
This article is coming from the Huffington Post.
Oh,
Well, I don't know. Is that a bad thing?
it's just it went from the New York Post to something else.
Well, they're citing the New York Post. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this Eastern European name of the author here. Just not going to do it. A link will be provided, and those of you who would like to attempt to pronounce it on your own are welcome to do so. A lawsuit filed Friday by Jacqueline Simpson, a 50-year-old clerk from Brooklyn, New York.
I thought she was
I
a
thought she
gospel
was a
singer.
gospel-
That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't know.
More like a weekend warrior gospel singer.
She could have been a gospel singer if it weren't for this glass in the
Now she's a clerk.
right.
There you go.
Is that what it is?
It's a slippery slope.
She's from Brooklyn, New York. She says, what?
I was just thinking, I mean, one day you're an aspiring gospel singer, the next you're eating a chicken sandwich, one piece of glass later, clerk.
That's a movie right there.
There you go.
The movie would just be called Clerk.
Right.
Not plural.
That's right.
Right, yeah.
Singular.
She says the sandwich with the glass inside came from a McDonald's near the World Trade Center in May 2010.
Wait a second.
World Trade Center
Is
glass?
is she playing a sympathy card here? Mentioning the World Trade Center?
I don't know.
Too soon, Jacqueline.
That's
Too
right.
soon.
It'll always be too soon.
That's true.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The Post writes that Simpson alleges in the documents her voice has since been hoarse and rattly, and she can no longer sing soprano. Though, if Brian's to be believed, she apparently could probably never sing soprano.
Wait a second, so she bit into a what?
Chicken sandwich.
And swallowed a piece of glass.
It didn't say she swallowed it, she just bit into it. So she bit into a piece of glass while eating a chicken sandwich from McDonald's.
So
3 years ago.
Yep.
So how does that affect... Wait.
Exactly 3 years
There's
ago.
a few things here. First of all,
So wait.
you bit into a piece of glass, you spit it out. Am I right?
I will.
I mean, I would.
Yeah.
So how would
If
that...
I bit into it, I would definitely see what was in my mouth.
Yeah, that shouldn't be there.
I will say, when I was in
Vietnam?
yeah, when I was in Nam,
WW2.
I was just visiting. No, when I was in Cub Scouts, I was at the Pinewood Derby. I had a loose tooth. I was eating a hot dog, and the loose tooth came out, and I felt it, and I tried to get it, but unfortunately, I swallowed before I could get to it, and so I did swallow that tooth. So there is some credence to the idea that biting into it does not mean that it will come out of your mouth.
But she didn't say that. She said she bit it.
Well, this article is not incredibly detailed. I'm just saying, I'm just playing Jacqueline's advocate here. And
Why?
for an opposing point of view.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think it's weird that if she found glass in her mouth that she swallowed it, for the record.
Maybe
But-
she thought it was edible. It's like
It's like rock candy.
Oh, this
It's
is one of those.
candy.
It's one of those special chicken sandwiches.
There's candy inside this chicken.
The Post writes, yeah, okay, yeah. She also claims people have mistaken her for a man on the phone, per the Post.
And now, is this a new ailment, or is this something that's been going on the past 50 years?
You know, it doesn't specify.
Is she a smoker?
That's right.
I don't know. But
Now she has an excuse. They always...
All this time I've been answering the phone, and everyone says, "Hello, sir.
What happened to you?
I'm a woman."
I've
I
been on a piece of glass.
It was in 2010 near the World Trade Center. I was eating a chicken sandwich, and there was glass in it, and I ate it. Now I sound like this.
Paul Goodman, owner and operator of multiple McDonald's restaurants in Manhattan, told the Huffington Post in an emailed statement on Tuesday that he plans to look into the incident. So
How do you
3
look
years
into
later,
that?
well, I'm sure they keep very detailed records of every sandwich
Yeah.
sold at every McDonald's.
McDonald's, yes.
Well, there's no chance that he will not be able to find information about this in great detail, right?
Is he going to go back through the archives and see if there's
Yeah.
other reports of...
What are they at McDonald's? Right? They keep 5 years of videotaped, restaurant footage. Is that?
I think that's standard.
Is it okay?
I
okay.
mean, the Vatican archives are small compared to McDonald's archives.
I figured, yeah. Even because I believe this is a franchise, so does that make a difference? You think?
Probably.
Yeah. Is it? Maybe there's only a couple years worth.
I think that particular McDonald's burnt down, though. 3 years ago.
Rest assured, I take these matters very seriously, he said. Providing safe food and beverages is a top priority at my restaurant.
Have you ever been to a McDonald's?
I have.
I don't think there's a priority in those places.
Well, I'd be curious, too, to even look and see if this man was employed by McDonald's back in 2010.
That's true. That's true, too.
Well,
I mean, managers, they're like, go through managers like...
he's the owner, though.
He's the owner. Okay,
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, it's a valid point.
Well, the owner now or the owner then?
That's
what I'm saying.
I'm with you. I'm thinking because he's. I'm just going to say that because he's talking in this interview that he probably was the owner still. But I am meeting them halfway here, so.
The advocate. Wait, you were the advocate for her, not them.
I'm everybody's advocate
Okay.
tonight, apparently.
Right, here we go.
I'm just whatever advocate is advocating whatever you guys aren't.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. Microphone 2, opposite advocate. And really, it just depends on what you really mean by the word safe when you talk about safe food and beverages. Are you talking about dietarily safe or nutritionally
'Cause
safe?
that's not, that's
Or are you
not-
just saying something
Yeah.
that won't cut you as you swallow it?
It'll tear apart your insides in another way.
Yeah, exactly. Make you sound like a man or make you sound like a man. Hmm? Okay. Upon learning about this claim, I took immediate action to gather the facts and began an investigation into the matter. As this is a pending legal matter, it would be inappropriate to comment further.
Because he has nothing else to say.
It's like, Billy, did you put glass in the chicken sandwich? Yeah. What? Yeah. What's the investigation going to be?
If it's three, especially if it's three, how old?
3 years.
3 years ago. It was May 2010. This is May 2013.
And she just brought it up.
Well, I'm guessing that,
That's what that's my.
Is it possible that she repressed this memory? Until somebody said, Jacqueline, what's wrong with your voice?
I woke up the other day and realized it all stems back to the sandwich that I had 3 years ago at the McDonald's by the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the article, that's about it for that story, but the article does go on. Say McDonald's has faced other troubling incidents recently. In March, Anishi Spencer sued the hamburger chain after she claimed her 2 sons, ages 3 and 2,
Became obese after eating there day after day.
This is weirder than that. Found a used condom on the Play Place area's floor at a Chicago McDonald's. What?
Well, they do say kids are doing things younger and younger.
Oh,
No, this is-
that's horrifying. Later, one of her sons reportedly coughed up a piece of the condom.
Wait,
All right, if you could see the faces that just happened in this room just now. 'Cause
I didn't see that. That's like an M.
Wait.
Night Shyamalan type twist.
yeah. we do not read
wait,
these
a piece
stories
of
ahead
a
of time.
condom or a piece of the condom?
The condom.
Could it be possible?
Well, then that's not McDonald's fault. That's the parents' fault. Your
Well,
kids,
I mean-
your kids on the
Like,
floor.
look what I found.
Yeah, your kids on the floor chewing on a condom. There's an issue. That's not McDonald's issue.
Unless it was a Mick condom, and then we have a problem.
Then McDonald's is culpable.
Wait, they have McCondoms?
I haven't ordered a Happy Meal in a long time, but I don't know what they put them in anymore. She said one of her sons coughed up a piece of the condom, and both needed medical treatment, according to the Chicago Sun-Times.
Was the other one more psychological damage after seeing his
Wait.
brother?
I want to know where. Wait, where is this one?
Chicago. Doesn't say this one. I have no idea whether it's a franchise or corporate-owned location either. Just for the record, Spencer accused the franchise of failing to clean hazardous debris from an area used by children. I mean, look. To be fair, if there was such an item in the restaurant, I would have to suspect it was left there by employees after hours.
Right.
So, how else is that going to get there? Or unless somebody had it in their pocket and just was like, "Oh, I just forgot about this," and just drop it,
Well, if you, I mean, not only that, but
I'm confused why both kids needed medical treatment.
not only that, but I just don't see anybody, including a kid, I don't care how small, chowing down on a condom.
I mean, they're 3 and 2. I don't think that there's like any sort of stigma around condoms to them.
Okay. Which leads to my next point. How does only a piece?
The one looks at the other one. They're like, this is the difference between life and death.
He coughed up a piece of a condom like a hairball. Is that what he did?
I guess. I mean, he really would have had to chew on it a lot, I would think.
Mom, something's wrong with this bubble gum. Billy!
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I mean, I've seen kids put like rocks in their mouth and
Anything.
stuff.
Yeah, they'll put anything in their mouths for sure.
Yeah.
But
Gum? I don't know. Whatever. Like, basically, if they can pick it up, they put it in their
yeah,
mouths.
that's what they do.
Right. Like, I mean, little kids are like dogs at that point. Like, what does that taste like? Is that no?
I'm just for a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old to be let loose in a McDonald's in the first place.
I mean, is there
That-
a side to the story where it's like,
That free.
Was
I mean,
this-
I understand you said they got the playgrounds and all that kind of stuff, but let's think about this: a 3 or 4-year-old to be let loose, walking around, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, I don't know.
well, I mean, this is what happens at the play place, though, right?
yeah,
That's true. I mean,
It's the
I don't think
babysitter.
parents are even really
Yeah.
allowed in there.
it's the what?
What?
Like you can, they can like eat on the tables, but you can't like go in the play gym with them. You
Right,
kind of
yeah,
leave
you
them
can't.
to their own
Yeah, so-
devices.
Right, yeah, that's a good point. This thing could have been up in the tubes.
In the tubes, that's where it was, which leads back to the employees.
Yeah, or actually, if it's in the tubes at that point, then it could just be nobody noticed a couple of old enough to be using this item people to be going up into the tubes.
Wait, say that again.
Maybe they were midgets or something. Mistaken.
So this very sexy McDonald's play place where we little people,
There you go.
yeah. I don't know about that, but I don't know.
The whole spitting up a piece of a condom is still.
I mean, actually, it looks like there's a link back to this. I could pull up this story, I guess.
Is there a photo of the offending item?
Would you like to see a photo of the offending item?
I would not.
Like, this is clearly a piece of the used condom.
But seriously, think about it. Spitting up a piece of a condom, okay?
I would like to think that
That's
if
like
I was, if I was in charge of a child who was chewing on something, that I found was chewing on something, I would be able to discover what it was in their mouth and get it out of their mouth before they could chew up something like a condom to get a piece of it swallowed.
Like, swallow their mouth and be like, "What
I
is
just
this?"
don't. I just don't see how you could actually, even an adult, shred a condom with your teeth.
I personally have never tried.
I also
I'm
have
just saying,
never
it's
tried.
basically like
I
a
did
rubber
chew
band.
up a latex rubber glove one time, and it stayed in one piece the entire time.
There you go.
And I was working on it for hours.
Was this
Alright.
like a dare?
All right, well, this story's not true, but this is what I imagined would happen.
Seriously, even a rubber band. You take a rubber band and you put it in your mouth.
Yeah, rubber band, balloons, anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's. Yeah.
I don't even think that's biodegradable.
it's hard to separate gum into two pieces.
This is
in
not a
your mouth.
balloon.
Huh?
This is not a balloon.
It's not a balloon. It's stretchier.
More durable.
I was chewing on a piece of steak once for like half an hour, and I couldn't break it up into more than one piece. And that's meant to be chewed apart.
With
right.
adult teeth, not baby teeth.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I was 10.
Okay.
Still, those are
I just remember.
you knew what you were doing.
Sort of. I don't know. I was young.
You knew you had to chew
I
it.
knew I was supposed to be chewing it up so that it would break apart and be more easily swallowed. At least the digestion thing.
I
didn't
can't
make
see a
lot of
3 or
sense.
4-year-old chewing on a condom like, this is what I got to be doing. I got to get this down.
I feel like you'd have to be trying to. You'd have to be putting effort into that.
Yeah.
And you'd have to. Yeah, I think you would have to know that you were trying to break this thing apart.
Right.
Because this is what happened to me. Like, my whole family sat down with these steaks, and I was chewing on this piece of steak so long when I finally, noticed everybody else was done, and I was still working on my first bite.
The dishes were washed.
It's a true
People were
story.
taking naps.
They were starting to gather the dishes, and that's when I realized that I had made very little progress on my steak.
This was a sponge.
I don't like to suggest, just in case my mother should ever listen to this, that maybe she overcooked the steak.
I
But-
cannot imagine. Your mother's an awesome cook.
She is an awesome cook, but I
For
feel
sure.
like this steak had to have been overcooked.
I can't believe it.
Even as, how was
I
I
ref-
chewing on one piece for that long? Was it my fault? It's easier to blame my mom in this case.
Lucy, I don't believe it.
But I love you. There is
But
more.
seriously, I think another scam as well as the first one.
So you're of the mind that every lawsuit against McDonald's is a scam.
Not every. I'm just stupid ones like this.
I will say that we read the headline of this story before we started recording, and Dave went back to the famous lady spilling coffee on herself. And he felt that somebody spilling coffee on themselves was of the same caliber of somebody swallowing a piece of glass in their food. And that it was as much of a no-brainer as... To me, I was going to say, like, yeah, coffee is hot. We all know coffee's hot. So you should be careful with it regardless. And I think that all sane people have felt that was, really stretching the limits of the law there. But I would say that glass in your food is not something you should expect. So it's reasonable.
Well, the thing is, it was 3 years ago. Who was there to witness any of this? She decides to go down. Hey, by the way, 3 years ago, I chomped on a piece of glass, and now my voice is ruined.
Well,
and now these kids, a condom. Not that it's impossible. Yes, it's plausible that there was a condom laying around or whatever. But a kid would be chomping on a condom, and then spits up a piece of it. Or whatever and stuff like that. It's like, well,
I find it weird that I think it said that the child coughed up a piece of
whatever. Still,
which is stranger to me. The wording there could suggest that it was actually up in the kid's sinuses. So he's maybe snorting the condom,
which is more important. Which is
even more strange.
Can this woman with the glass produce the glass to prove that?
Yeah.
Did she save it?
I don't know.
For a rainy day?
That's the thing. This article is very. This was the longest article on this I could find when you brought up the story, and I gotta say it's very sparse in the details. It does pretty clearly suggest, though, that she's saying that it happened 3 years ago, and Paul Goodman, the owner, just started looking into it like a week ago. Well, this was May 21st, this was written. And so, yeah, just a couple days ago, he's like, I'm going to investigate this.
Maybe he was busy. Maybe she notified him, 3 years ago, and he's just getting around to it.
It's like, I've had a lot on my plate, lady.
It's like, but you don't understand.
I got billions and billions to serve, as the sign say.
I don't know. So is this case of the legal system gone wrong? Or is McDonald's secretly trying to turn Sopranos into Bezos?
I'm going to go both.
A little bit of both?
Yeah.
So it's a conspiracy and...
Have you been to McDonald's lately? Something ain't right. I went to a Subway one time. And have you ever seen... those of you who have seen Uncle Buck? He goes to the bowling alley and he's got the one guy, I forget his name, but he's twirling a toothpick.
Buddy. His name is Buddy.
Buddy. He's twirling a toothpick in his mouth. Not with his hands. He's just flicking with his tongue. He's twirling around his mouth.
Yeah.
Okay? I went to Subway and this guy was making me a grinder.
That guy?
And he was twirling a toothpick in his mouth. You know what I did? I walked out.
Did you?
Yeah.
So was he...
This guy's twirling a toothpick in his mouth, making my grinder. No. This...
I like how he calls it a grinder, by the way.
It's a grinder.
It's not what we call grinders here, though.
Whatever. Anyway, so he's... You know what I mean? Like, that disturbing look. I'm like... Seriously, I was like, I gotta go.
He's like, where are you going?
No, he couldn't talk.
He was busy twirling.
But seriously, you was sitting... I was like...
So your concern was spit and everything getting everywhere? And
Well, not only that, but just regular... Professionalism.
I'm not saying it wouldn't gross me out either, because it sounds disgusting.
Like, you're a Subway, you should have the gloves on, you should be, having the hat on, and this guy's, twirling a... No.
I remember seeing, the gloves on people at Subway. That was, the first time I'd seen people in a real restaurant, not a cafeteria setting, using...
Subway?
Yeah, using gloves.
Subway real restaurant.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Like a real chain.
Just kidding.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
And I remember thinking, that's a great idea.
Gloves?
Yeah. Because before we used to rely solely on the discretion of people hand washing.
Yeah. If they did or if they did
Right.
not.
I mean, when I was a waiter, I washed my hands constantly. And I mean, I wasn't even touching the food most of the time.
You still wash your hands constantly.
Yeah, I do. That's true. Well, I do like to have clean hands, yes. So. Well, you've been listening to the Dan and Dave Mindset. We would, again, like to thank our very special guest, Brian. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Dave, would you like to thank our guest?
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, so that was Brian. I'm Dan.
I'm Dave. Peace.